Hello, good morning, ladies and gents. Welcome back to this episode with me, your host, Dallin Hawes. It is so good, again, to spend some time with you today. If you are watching / listening to this close to when it comes out, it is Tuesday morning. And I hope you're having a great week and hope that you continue to have an incredible week for the rest of the week. Okay, today we're talking about Social Security and how your statements aren't what you might think they are. Because often, as many of you have in the past, and I pushed this in the past, say, hey, go to the Social Security's website, go to the website and get a benefits estimate. I push this all the time. So first thing, if you haven't done that already, go type in ssa.gov, go to that website, make an account, find your benefits statement. It's a great step when it comes to Social Security. Now that we have that benefits estimate, okay, we have to understand what it tells us and what it doesn't tell us. Because can it be helpful? Yes, 100%. But there are some things that you have to know because sometimes it drastically overestimates your benefits and sometimes it underestimates your benefits, right? And so for you have to understand what circumstances you might be in to affect this and what you can do to potentially get a better estimate. So there are three main things that I want to talk about today that will affect your benefit amount, your actual benefit amount. And on your statement, you'll see it. It's under the Assumptions tab. Social Security says, hey, we're not going to actually know your exact amount until you actually file for benefits, right? And for you who are looking to plan your retirement, maybe you want some answers before that. So this is the video for you to kind of get a better idea, a closer estimate before you actually retire. So let's dig right in. The first thing that we have to understand is that Social Security, I'm not going to dig into the complex formula because there's a lot of steps to how they calculate it. But bottom line is this. Your benefits are based on your 35 highest working years that you are paying into Social Security, okay? So, another assumption that Social Security makes is, let's say you are 55, okay? Let's say you're 55 and you're looking at your benefits estimate. Well, this benefits estimate is going to show you your benefits at different ages. It's going to show it at 62, 65 maybe your full retirement age, and 70, okay? Now, what these different age amounts assume is that you are going to continue making what you are currently making up until the time that you would take benefits, okay? So for example, your age 62 benefits assumes you're going to continue working, making exactly what you're making right now until 62. When you stop working, you take Social Security. Your age 70 benefit estimate on your statement assumes you're going to continue working till age 70 and continue making what you're currently making. Okay, so now, what does that mean? That means that your benefit could be higher or lower than what you're seeing on your estimate. Because let's say that you're actually planning to retire in your late 50s, but not going to take Social Security until, let's say, 62 or even age 70 or anywhere in between. Your benefits may be slightly smaller because you're not working during some years that they're assuming you're going to be. Now, let's flip it on the other side. Maybe your income's going to be higher in the future than it assumes your income's going to be. For example, they assume your income's going to stay the same, right? And as you know, with pay increases, with step increases, with these sort of things, your pay might increase and probably will between now and retirement, depending how far you are from retirement. So, if that's the case, if your pay is actually going to increase between now and when you take Social Security, then your benefits may be underestimated. You actually might get more than they're assuming, right? So that is something to think about. Now, as a general rule, the farther you are from Social Security, the less accurate your benefits are going to be. Now, if you're a few months out from taking Social Security, then your benefit statement is going to be pretty darn accurate, okay? As you get closer, the more accurate it's going to be. Now, let me tell you about one more thing that really sometimes underestimates how much benefits you're actually going to get, and that is Social Security bend points, okay? Again, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty here, but let me suffice it to say that the bend points for Social Security change every year. They increase every year. And the higher these bend points are, the more benefits you're going to get when you actually file. Now, the estimates that you see on your benefits estimate is assuming that the bend point, what the bend points are today. But if, let's say, you're in your 50s or 40s, whenever you're watching this, and you've got some years before you take Social Security, then these bend points are surely going to be higher in the future, which means your benefits are going to be higher in the future, right? So that is another factor outside of your earnings that will underestimate your benefits just a little bit, right? So why am I sharing all this? What can we do because of this information? Well, the first thing we have to know is that we have to be flexible, right? Whenever you are looking at your benefits estimate, your pension estimate, whatever you're looking at when it comes to retirement planning, you want to build in some level of flexibility. You don't want your retirement plan to be so strict and so tight that any small variation will throw it off, right? If you are running your numbers and you barely can afford to retire, that may be a stressful way to do it, right? Maybe you want a little more wiggle room so that maybe, let's say, maybe taxes increase, or maybe your Social Security isn't as big as you'd like. Then you have some wiggle room where it's not going to destroy your retirement plan because you've got some wiggle room built into your plan, whether that's saving more in your TSP, whatever it is, build in some wiggle room so it's not so stressful come retirement. Now, if you want to get a really, really close estimate to what your benefits are going to be, then you're going to want to use some version of an online calculator. And honestly, there's not too many good ones out there, but there's a couple that do a pretty good job. The ones you want to use are ones that are going to look at your entire earnings history, where you plug in your earnings history of what you paid into Social Security, and you make some assumptions for what your earnings are going to be in the future. Then, with that information, they'll get you a pretty darn close estimate to what your benefits are going to be. Now, I understand that you, as you listen to this or watch this may be way more complicated than you are looking to get into it, right? And I understand that. I know that not everyone is going to really dig in, find an online calculator, and do all these things. And that's okay. Okay? I'm not saying you throw away your benefits estimate and that you never look at it and it's trash. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, hey, build in some wiggle room. Don't take that benefits estimate as law, because things will change. Social Security might change. As new administrations, as new presidents are elected, as things change, Social Security very well might change. And so you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible as taxes change, as laws change, as rules change, but definitely have a plan. If you understand how things are calculated, how things work, then as things change, you're going to be so much more able to adjust and to say, okay, I know how this works, so with this change, I just make this adjustment, and I'm good to go. And I'm still ready for retirement. Or if you're already in retirement, you'll be so much better off to be able to adjust as you go, whether it's deciding, hey, I'm actually going to take Social Security at a different age because of this. I'm actually going to do whatever, right? You can adjust as you go. So if that was helpful, consider subscribing, maybe hitting the thumbs up. Everything helps to support the channel and getting this info to as many federal employees as we possibly can. So have an incredible rest of your day, your week, your month, your year, and I'll see you next time.